Hello, everyone. I all hope you had a very beautiful weekend and a very good day and a very good weekend and a very blessed Mother's Day, as some of you exactly. And I all hope you enjoyed it. Today we have to talk about Lord Jack, who's known by another name, known as Shadow Jack and Jack the Chaos Bringer, who's a very powerful warlock and a very powerful villain and a very founding member of the Sacred Circle and also a leader of his empire, known as the Lord no, Lord Jack's empire, who leads it with great nobility and with greatness through it. That is just universe exactly barking and the car just going and making noise, as you can exactly see. Despite this, um, Despite this, for the many centuries, Chaos Bringer Jack has plagued the sacred world and the sacred universe through chaos and through heartache ever since he was born. His mother and father are known by Nebula Bringer and Jake Bringer, who are his parents. They are the most powerful and revered warlocks and dark druids. His people and his kind are the most revered species throughout the entire sacred universe, and they are the most formidable warlocks and the most formidable witches and druids that the entire sacred universe has ever gained to know. Throughout the following centuries, Chaos Bringer Jack has plagued the sacred universe through chaos and through power, able to exactly seize control of numerous worlds and numerous planets in order to fight against the magic heroes, in order to exactly conquer vast worlds and vast planets for his own conquest and for his own mission. When he became Chaos Bringer, he wreaked a lot of havoc and a lot of destruction upon his wake. He created all that havoc and all that chaos in order to seize more power and more control of shadow energy and more control of super weapons, which he was able to exactly do. In doing so exactly, Chaos Bringer Drac frequently clashed with the magic heroes who were trying to exactly stop him and prevent him from wreaking havoc. The Stone Fairies decided to trap him in eternal stone, and which they exactly cast a spell on him, trapping him into eternal stone, making him a statue, a full statue of himself. He became a statue trapped in a mortal prison as a statue of a stone, a figment of himself. He was trapped there for centuries and for many centuries to come. Within those centuries, when the sacred universe was at war with the Lord of Magic, with Valak Hellfire, and also the Shadow Striker rogue group of Four Nation Hunter, and the founders and the Dark King, and the Galactic, and the Order of the Five, and monsters and powerful energy goblins and creatures. Shadow Jack, known Chaos Bringer Jack, was still in transition of being a statue, and he remained as a statue for almost 10,000 centuries. Within that centuries, he remained as a statue, a figment of himself, imprisonment for years and centuries to come. Within the following middle 20th century, he was exactly already freed by a spell cast by a powerful dark witch known as Sali, who was able to free him from his imprisonment. In doing so, he began starting to wreak havoc across planet Earth in order to create chaos and famine and disasters with his power. But Dr. Magic was able to detect Chaos Springer's magic and was able to exactly fight him off and was able to exactly vanquish him off. Chaos Springer Jack decided it's time that he changes his appearances and his plans to wreaking chaos and wreaking enormous amounts of destruction upon planet Earth and upon the sacred world and upon the sacred universe, which he's been exactly planning to do. In doing so, he decided to become Lord Jack, known as Shadow Jack. In doing so, in order to transition his new appearance and become the new formidable warlock Everseed. When his empire was quietly still built, he began recruiting members to become his high-ranking official members of his empire, known as Atlee Granny Witch, and the Dark Witch Sadi, and the Dark Druids, the Dark Witches, the Dark Faithful, the Dark Druids, the Dark Witches, the Dark Faithful, the Dark Druids, the Dark Witches, the Dark Faithful, the Water Druids, the Ice Druids, the Water Children, and the Water Children, and the Ice Faithful, all an elderly Granny Witch, in all of these members in order to become high-ranking officials in his empire, which he exactly did. He began ruling his empire within his home planet, known as Planet Power. Was Planet Power, which was exactly in the fringes of the sacred universe and very deep edges of the sacred universe. By doing so exactly, Shadowjack sat at the throne room and began to rule his planet and planning to conquer vast worlds and vast civilization, and he became a member and a founding member and an ally of the Sacred Circle in order to help them establish control of vast worlds and vast civilizations. When he heard the death of the Lolo Magic, Shadow Jack was quietly unhappy and very unhappy and very quietly unpleased. He was very quietly disappointed with the results he got it and with the news he quietly heard. He wasn't very quietly happy with the death of the Lolo Magic. In fact, he was very quietly still suddenly disappointed that the Lolo Magic has passed away. Still suddenly that the Lolo Magic has passed away and that he is quietly gone forever, and meaning quietly for good. After he heard that his demise was brought by the hands of the universal heroes and the sacred heroes and the sacred team, he wasn't quietly happy. He decided that it's time that he began conquering vast worlds and vast civilizations throughout sacred existence and vast universes known as the robot universe, the Mixel universe, the Golden universe, the Star universe, Sacred universe. All these other universes will be exactly be placed under his sole control, and also planet Earth, and also the sacred worlds and the magic worlds of the entire magic universe by doing so. But he began to realize that the magic heroes will exactly derail his plans and all of his plans, which he began dispatching his minions to do his bidding and his work. And he started assisting the Sacred Circle in their work in liberating all the other worlds and all the other planets from the Shadow Empire's control and from the Shadow Empire's clutches, which he exactly do so in order to gain more personal control of the other civilizations and the other worlds. His forces his forces seem to frequently clash with the intergalactic coalition that are trying to liberate all these other worlds and all these other civilizations from the control of from the control of Shadow Jack and his forces and his beings and his forces and his beings and his followers, which they're exactly struggling. They frequently keep on clashing and clashing. The battle between two sides has lost an enormous amounts of casualties, and two sides weren't able to exactly recover. Since intergalactic coalition went into war with the Shadow Empire, two sides were both these suffered enormous amounts of casualties, and both sides suffered enormous amounts of casualties, and they were eagerly exactly to survive. Since the battle cruisers and all the teleportation battle cruisers locked into battle with the other battle cruisers in far deep space, waging war with each other. Werewolves and vampires aided the intergalactic coalition in liberating all the other worlds from the Shadow Empire warlords, which they exactly did in doing so. But in doing so, some of the Shadow Empire warlords were able to form an alliance with the Sacred Circle, joining forces with with Lord Jack's empire in order to increase his number and in order to increase his domain and control throughout the sacred universe and throughout the rest of sacred existence by doing so. Despite this, the Dark Witch Sully uses her experiments in order to give the Shadow Empire warlords cybernetics technology, cybernetics implants, cybernetics tech, cybernetics power, cybernetics technology, and cybernetics implants in order for them to seize more power and more control over their fighting skills and over their hand-to-hand combat against their opponents of the Universal Heroes, the World Heroes, the United Heroes, the Sacred Team, the Magic Heroes, the Magic Hero Fairies, the Stone Fairies, the Wood Heroes, and the Fire Heroes, and against all of the heroes who pose a threat. When Shadow Jack heard the news that the Intergalactic Coalition may manage to liberate 1,000 worlds and manage to liberate 1,000 worlds from the clutches of the Shadow Empire and all the other worlds, the Sacred Circle decided it's time that they seize control of those other worlds by helping them liberate all the other worlds and all the other planets. Lord Lord Ra and the members of the Sacred Circle and Lord Jack began to convene in order to discuss their next move in order to taking out the Universal Heroes in their next work. Lord Ra managed to convince and reassured the members of the Sacred Circle that the plan was in place, that his spies will continue wreaking havoc among all the other worlds, among all the other planets, in order to restart the revolution that he quietly so intended in order to begin, which was so happy. Lord Jack was very quietly pleased with this development and was very happy to exactly hear so. He began starting to recruit more other dark druids and other dark magic users known as the Seconds to join his empire and also to help him rebuild his faction, making his faction the most powerful, dominant force in the entire sacred universe, in the entire known universe, that whoever poses a threat to his reign, that he'll become the most formidable lord and leader of his great empire, known as Lord Jack's empire. His mother, known as Nebula Bringer, the most powerful half dark druid or half dark witch and half dark faithful, began to exactly transporting more technologies and more forces and more people and more forces and more followers to his aid in order to exact assist him with his conquests and his plans from conquering vast worlds and vast civilizations and doing so exactly. And in order to maintaining a close watch on Shadowjack's reign and ruling while his father rules his home planet Neb, strictly with his father ruling his home planet Neb under his father's guidance and also domain. By doing so, Shadowjack began using whatever military might and strategy to conquer vast worlds and vast civilization with the help of the Sacred Circle members and also with the help of the Sacred Children, Lord Rock, Queen Ivy, Kane, and the Shadow Child, the Superior Child, and the Air Child, and all the other members of the Sacred Circle who were able to utilize their resources to further their own ambition and their own goal to fight against the universal heroes and their forces. The Dark Druids and the Dark Witches and the Dark Faithful launched a major assault against the magic hero fairies on the other worlds in order to exactly reconquer the magic dimension and the magic universe that were so intending to exactly rule and extract as much shadow energy and as much magic as they could exactly do so. But the Intergalactic Coalition was able to fight off and vanquish and destroy some of the Druids and some of the Dark Witches and some of the Dark Faithful and some of the Dark Faithful in battle, and some of them were able to teleport, some of them were unable to teleport, some of them ultimately were taken into custody. Others couldn't exactly survive the battle. They were all destroyed. When they were destroyed, a blast of purple light energy exploded with them, claiming, seeing that they are created by purple light energy of shadow energy, and they are quietly made by shadow energy and power. They have the ability of mind control and the ability of hypnosis and the ability of contagion and the ability of teleportation and the ability of mastery of all science and all dark magic and mastering all of it. They fought. The battle was very conclusive when two sides quietly waged war with each other. But the magic hero, the universal magic heroes and universal space heroes were able to save the other worlds and all the other planets, and they managed to vanquish some of the dark druids and some of the dark witches. And by fighting the monsters that are quietly led by Lord Jack's forces and some of these people, were able to exactly launch a full-scale assault on the other worlds and the other planets by doing so exactly. But the Intergalactic Coalition was very happy that they were able to exactly liberate all the other worlds and all the other planets from Shadow Jack's control and also ruling in doing so exactly, which able to pave a way for the Sacred Circle to secretly controlling the other worlds and other civilizations that will be put to Lord Ra's control and his members and his associates and his agents and his forces through Shadow Jack and through Lord Jack and through Lord Jack and through Lord Jack's forces and through the Sacred Circle's forces by any means necessary. But the Intergalactic Coalition won a major bust by destroying the Shadow Empire's grip upon the known universe and upon the sacred universe, upon the other universes of the Golden Universe, the Sacred Universe, the Star Universe, the Mixel Universe, the Robotic Universe, and by also saving those universes and from the Shadow Empire's control, the battle was very much quietly conclusive. Two sides suffered heavy, enormous amounts of casualties, but they were ultimately able to take some of the Shadow Empire warlords into custody, taking them all into custody, and being able to exactly interrogate them and asking them questions about who their master and who their leader. They were able to say it was Lord Jack, known as the most powerful dark warlock and dark leader of the entire of his empire and a high-ranking member of the Sacred Circle. The Universal Heroes and Intergalactic Coalition were very happy to see that they made a new enemy and a formidable foe and a very deadly supervillain who is determined enough to conquer the entire sacred universe and the entire human race with an iron fist, with his iron will, by any means necessary. Despite this, his will and power and ferocity makes him more dangerous, and makes him more cunning and ruthless and unlike any other leader, known as the Lord of Magic, Lord Justin, Winter King. All these, despite being different from them, and despite being different from Lord Six and Victor Darkness and Ryan Darkness and Dark Light and Shadow Fox and Shadow Master and the Goddess of Life, he is very ruthless and very cunning. He is very quietly skilled in hand-to-hand combat and powerful magical combat abilities. He has the ability of teleportation, the ability of raw intelligence, and the ability of power, the ability of hand-to-hand combat, able to fight with sticks and magical powers and abilities, able to teleport, able to reappear at will. Lord Jack is very skilled in dark magic. He and his forces and his beings create super technologies transported throughout the sacred circle, throughout the sacred circle's agent, in order to exactly secretly, in order to exactly give the sacred circle agents more technology and more power, and secretly empowering the Shadow Empire with a super technology in order to further their own ambition with their own worlds by conquering large planets and large civilizations at large and at will by any means necessary. The alliance with Shadow Jack and the Sacred Circle didn't come at the cost. It came at a heavy price by conquering all worlds and by fighting against the Intergalactic Coalition, the United Heroes, the Universal Heroes, the World Heroes, the Fire Heroes, the Sacred Team, and the World Heroes, the Sacred Team, and the Fire Heroes, and the Universal Space Heroes at any cost. They frequently clashed with them in order to stop them from freeing all these planets and all these worlds, and by secretly forming an alliance with the Shadow Empire warlords to help them seize control of vast worlds and vast civilizations by any means necessary. Lord Jack is not meant to be underestimated. He rules his empire with an iron fist from his home planet known as Planet Power, a powerful dark world, and a powerful dark world that is far on the fringes of the sacred universe and far away from the fringes of the sacred universe, where he commands his domain and secretly communicates with these partners and with these forces, and by working together with the Sacred Circle to further the ambition and also his goal in conquering humanity. But his goals and his missions and his entire conquest has never come to fruition since it has been stopped and been prevented by the interference of the United Heroes, the Universal Heroes, the Universal Space Heroes, and the World Heroes, and all the other heroes who pose a threat to his goal and to his mission. They have derailed his plan twice in order to exactly stop him from conquering humanity and all the other civilizations by any means necessary. Lord Jack is very powerful, very skilled in dark magic, and he's very strong and very formidable. He's not meant to be underestimated. Not meant to be underestimated. Telling you this, guys, he's not meant to be underestimated at any means necessary. Trust me, not meant to underestimate. He's the most high-ranking, next-ranking villain, not meant to be underestimated. He's super intelligent, creating red, yellow boxes in order to transport them through worlds, through planets, in order to be used for teleportation, opening portals through other worlds, through other civilizations, and through other universes in order to conquer them, launch heavily assaults on worlds and planets. But the Intergalactic Coalition frequently clashes with these armies and with these forces in order to stop them from conquering vast worlds and vast universes and vast planets, and also by fighting with the ice creature, which I previously mentioned, using its army and armada to conquer worlds and planets and civilization, which creates an all-out war, which creates an all-out sacred war throughout the sacred universe and throughout the sacred existence and throughout the sacred world itself by fighting monsters and dark beings and dark people and dark druids and dark witches and dark faithful who are eager to conquer and reclaim all the other worlds in the name of Lord Jack and in the name of the previous Grandmaster known as the Lord of Magic. These villains are very formidable, guys, very powerful and very intelligent, not meant to be underestimated at any given cost. Trust me. Well, I all hope you enjoyed the video, and I all hope you will have a very great week, and a very great day. Please stay safe and stay well. Bye. Bye.